The party never stops in Miami. So for more, we say hello to CBS senior NFL insider Josina Anderson. Josina, wild one down in Miami. What a game it was that you took in there from field level. We have to talk about Tua Tagovailoa and specifically the health. Tell me what you know about that 2-minute mark where he left the game with the obvious head injury and his return there in the third quarter. What transpired between those 2 points?
Well, obviously at that time we were in the press box, and I saw how Milano was rushing him actually right back in this area. And then Tua, falls back and his head snaps back, and is very evident on the replay. And then I'm watching him because I've got my big bird watcher binoculars as he's getting up, and I saw it from jump that he was not able to handle his walk, which just by observing it would look like, something is wrong in terms of maybe potentially suffering a head injury. And he tried to kind of get his balance as we're now watching it on video. I mean, at that point, you see him right here, and his knees buckle. So that looks like disorientation. And per the protocol and all of the attention that the NFL places on safety, particularly with potential head injuries, this is why there's an independent observer at these games so that the team and the player can be helped from themselves. Now, Tua exits here to my right. He goes out of the game, and to everyone's surprise, even though Teddy Bridgewater was able to come back momentarily, he does go back in there. And not only does he go back in there, but he has this long 45-yard completion to Jalen Waddle. And so he's looking like he's doing it. And I believe his end line on the completion was 13 of 18 for 100 plus something. And I know that after the game in the press conference that Tua said he cleared whatever protocol that they had immediately after the game, that he had suffered what he felt like was a back injury prior to the play I'm just describing, and that play that we're describing now, made it worse. But the thing is this, and I'm talking to someone who suffered a concussion, not because I'm a boxer or a football player. I had a piece of luggage fall on my head on a plane, and I can tell you that even though someone can ask you what 1 + 1 is and you say 2, or, what does red and green make? It makes brown. It doesn't mean that you can't display potential concussion symptoms later. And so that is also the concern as to whether there's something potentially wrong. And so now this is why we're hearing the NFLPA, via the tweet from Tom Pelissero, announce that they are launching an investigation, because these things are written so that they can make sure, even when things look like they're good, they're there to just be sure. And the other aspect of this is that the Dolphins have that Thursday night game. Yes, you want Tua to be there. Yes, the Dolphins are 3-0. Yes, you want to keep it going. But was that the right decision? Are you sure for sure? Not just 95% sure, 90% sure, but are you 100% sure? And it's hard watching that replay to think that they potentially could be 100% sure.
Yeah, it was really an interesting timeline that unfolded in front of us and ended up in a Dolphins win. This is notably a team that's already had one of their 2 first-round picks stripped due to a different infraction by their owner. We'll see what comes out of this NFLPA investigation. What are the next steps in that investigation, and when could we maybe hear a ruling or a punishment on this account?
Well, it's going to take some time. I'm sure the people that work the back end have to, conduct their interviews and ask not only what was the process behind the scenes, consult the doctor and what have you. And also, I'm sure, not just the Dolphins medical staff, but what I think should be, the independent observer and, what information that they were getting. I can't say definitively how long that will be, but I'm sure there'll be some measure of urgency relative to the fact that the Dolphins have, a game coming up, and whether, that should be handled with any discipline of the team or what have you. I don't think that would fall on Tua. The thing really now is more so maybe for the team, but the thing really now is just to confirm that whatever he said he wasn't feeling today is not potentially showing up 2 days, 3 days down the line. And not only if that, but that everything is accurately and truthfully relayed as to what he's feeling potentially the days after.
As Josina Anderson might have her PhD by the end of this one, because I do have to ask you about the health of the other quarterback as well. Josh Allen reportedly did have x-rays on his hand after this game. You spoke with Allen post-game after those x-rays as well, and you took nothing away in terms of his demeanor post-game.
Yeah, I mean, I had an opportunity to have a chat with Josh Allen right by his locker after the game. And, we're still waiting for definitive words on those scans on his hand. But just to describe how he looked, he didn't look bothered. I mean, from the standpoint of a pain, obviously, I just felt like he was taking in, the loss in stride. I heard Von Miller preaching to the locker room, or at least saying out loud, rather, that, adversity is helpful. Adversity is helpful. So he was just saying those things. And, everybody was just taking it in. And then after we talked, we're talking about me interviewing him at the Combine and just how it's been a while since I've seen him. He walked into the, the further men's room area and took care of business. So I didn't see any, concern or wrapping of the hand that way. Now, obviously, scans are scans, and you still have to wait. But at least I'm describing to you what it looked like in the locker room.
Well, Josina, we will continue to come to you for the latest. We appreciate all the updates and safe travels getting home from another fun one in Miami.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.